The rising salary bill for public officials who have been suspended has amounted to $81 million and counting, as their case is yet to be settled. Joining us now is President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, Techa Clarke-Griffiths, and we're going to be talking about that just now. Morning, Techa, how are you doing?
Good morning, I'm doing well, thank you.
How has it been in office, man?
Oof. It has been a journey. I'm in my 11th month.
Yeah.
And it has been very challenging, but quite rewarding. And of course, you know, I'm the first female, so
yes,
that is in itself a challenge. What it is also an achievement.
Yes. So we saw the news headlines. Roughly, how many of your members are in suspension at the moment?
Well, not suspension, but on interdiction, I have 8.
8 persons.
Okay.
In interdiction. Well, I think part of it. Let's help them to understand the process when a public servant is interdicted. What happens?
So Section 32 of the Public Service Regulations provide, Section 32(1) provides for persons to be placed on interdiction pending an investigation into allegations. Section 32(2) speaks to the reduction in salary, and Section 32(4) speaks to when the person is vindicated and returned to work, what happens. So pretty much once you are allegedly accused of a particular infraction, then the public service regulations provide for that person to be interdicted.
Okay. What would you say is the latest on the cases currently?
Well, I think my greatest challenge is the time that it takes for my members to return to work. I have 2 cases, one as long as 12 years and one going 8 years. And if you understand interdiction in itself, and I've been very vocal about it because I think interdiction in itself is a punitive measure. The fact that you send someone on interdiction even before they get an opportunity to defend themselves in itself is unjust, it is unfair, and it doesn't represent the natural justice rule. I believe that, as in the case of, it was 2 cases that we reference, and I don't want the case not coming to me right now, but the cases in the judge's recommendation is that the individual be given an opportunity to be heard. So just like anyone who is guilty of a crime, you get an opportunity to be charged and to be brought before the court, and you are represented at court. In interdiction, for my members, they don't get that opportunity. You receive a letter, you're on interdiction. And of course, interdiction should be on the recommendation from HR to the Services Commission to the Governor General. What we have seen is not that process. Persons are sent on interdiction, and then services is trying to find out why is this person suspended. And to make it worse, the time it takes for the case to close is a lengthy period of time.
So 2 things. My first thing is this, Techa. In courts here, there is I don't want to call it a consequence of going to court. And sometimes, you know, you take somebody to court, there's a consequence to you.
Yes.
Like you have to now end up, in some instances, covering the cost of the legal bills.
Absolutely.
Of the person of whom you've taken to court.
Yes.
My challenge is people can send a letter to interdict a public servant and there is no consequence. Like 13 years later, somebody can decide that this was unjust. But the individual who put it in process faces no consequence. Right. And you're never going to, I feel, address it until that part of it is addressed.
Ironically, though, the case that is lasting 12 years, That person was vindicated.
Right.
Went back to work, and they don't want to reinstate. They want to charge that person again.
Right.
So double jeopardy. So they didn't get what they wanted at the court because he was that case was thrown out. But they are using the internal processes now to punish the person.
So this is what I'm saying. Isn't there a back end that says, well, you caused this person to be out of work for 12 years.
Unfortunately,
as a okay.
Unfortunately, no.
With this length of time, though, Techa, what actually holds up the cases for so long?
There's a myriad of things. First of all, I think that those persons, I know those persons are unproductive. They are not producing. My thing is, put the person in a job in another entity so that they can produce. My problem is that the salary is reduced. So automatically you're interdicted, and it is inconsistent in how persons are, their salary are being reduced. Some full salary, majority quarter or half pay. Now we are talking about persons who have mortgages, family, children in school. It has caused significant financial damage to the individual. And for my members, especially those that I am aware of, they have faced degradation. And of course, we can't leave out the reputational damage.
I was about to say.
Because even once the persons are interdicted, it is public knowledge. And when the persons are vindicated, you don't hear about it.
But even if you hear about it, people are going to
still
draw
leaves
their
a
own
stigma
conclusion.
on the person.
Correct.
So I believe that the whole process of interdiction should be revised. It is, I know, the public service regulation is being reviewed. And Delia, you ask a very interesting question about the person that initiate the interdiction. But there's also the fact that there's no time frame. So there's no time frame to close these cases. In Barbados, for example, you have 6 months. In Jamaica, it's never ending. And I know in some cases, it is for punishment. It's deliberate. So you did something, it's alleged, and I'm going to punish you, so you're just out there.
Based on
until we feel like, you know.
I want to ask, I don't know if, maybe not to your knowledge, but I'll ask, are there instances where some of these interdictions have been cleared up rapidly? Like there have been instances where the time frame...
Like the 6 months?
Yeah. I've seen instances where people have said, but how come there won't clear up so quickly? And I've been waiting 10 years. So I'm trying to figure out what would make the system work sometimes and not work sometimes.
I am not aware of any that has been cleared up quickly. I know the one at NEPA, that the person returned to work quickly because of public outcry and the fact that we intervened quickly. That person is back on the job, but the case is still ongoing.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any that is quick. And here's another challenge, Delia. The person comes back to work after everything is concluded, and their salary is returned immediately. But there's another challenge. To get the back pay for the years takes another long time. So I believe that, you know, interdiction in itself, it's punitive, it's punishment. And my members know that I am very, very much against it. I am really encouraging the Services Commission to expedite the process. I know they are revising the Public Services Regulation, and Section 32 is one of those sections that needs revision, especially in relation to the court ruling. It's a Faith Webster case. Faith Webster versus the Services Commission. The recommendation from the judge is that the section be revised to eliminate the punitive measure that it currently has. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. We gotta go, Techa. Lots of work.
Thank you so much for having me.
President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, Techa Clarke-Griffiths.
After the break, we meet the Prime Minister's Youth Awardee for Youth Development, Nasha Johnson.